Hello, this is Rico Cavella, and this is your Fearless Aging podcast. And all my guests and I, it's always our mission, and we strive to offer you the best tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your health, your energy, be more successful, and live a long, fulfilling life and to never be old. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive difference in the world. And I hope everybody knows that that's what we need so much today. We need a lot more people to step up and make a big positive difference. So, but before I tell you about this great show that we're going to have, I just want to remind everybody that my new online Ageless Living Lifestyle 90-day online coaching program, where you have me as your personal trainer, and we'll design your own personal ageless living lifestyle wellness system that you can use to stay healthy and energetic all of your life. And you can find that at agelesslivingLifestyle.com/coaching. So the title of today's episode is How Your Health Greatly Affects, I want to say, your relationships, your finances, your career, your business, every aspect of your life is totally impacted by how healthy and how energetic you are. So this is going to be a really important show. So I really want you to stick around and really absorb all this information. And we have a great expert guest today. His name is Steve Wilshire. And Steve is a keynote speaker, an author, a mindset coach, and founder of the Body Temple Health and Wellness. Steve has made fitness and health and mindset a priority for 3 decades. Shortly after winning the Mr. Oregon bodybuilding competition, Steve developed an autoimmune disease that originated from a serious gut complication that almost ruined his health. So everything that Steve has learned from experts, everything that he did learn from experts and radical meal plans and harsh chemicals and supplements, it compromised his gut health. So 18 months after being diagnosed, Steve healed himself following the philosophy and wellness practices taught by the Hippocrates Institute in Southern Florida. Through Steve's journey, he has developed a process that has led him to assisting thousands of people how to reclaim their health and power. So Steve Wilshire, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Rico, pleasure to be here. I want everybody to hear you're in the right place. I had the most incredible conversation with Rico prior to this. And brother, you are so tapped in and tuned into your work. You know your work like the essence of your core. And wow, the 300 videos, the content that you've created, we are in a place and time where time is money and people need to leverage time, and all that content that you've created in your program to support people in learning how to take charge of their health, their fitness, their well-being. It's all automated. I'm just really awestruck. I'm excited to share this podcast and your coaching program with our list.
Well, Stephen, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I guess that's how I attract such great guests as you, right?
Yeah, I'm not really a big compliment guy, actually. I just tell the truth. I just tell the truth.
That's all it's about, telling the truth. That's what we're here for. Tell the truth, because there's not a lot of truth out there these days, quite often. So it's all about telling the truth. So I appreciate that so much.
But seriously, I really acknowledge your passion and if you haven't seen Rico, like, his skin is immaculate. You look so healthy. I don't even want to ask you your age. You remind me of I have an agent that is this guy just doesn't age. And he's been on the health journey for many, many years. I mean, always checking his pH, intermittent fasting, always in the sauna. And he's like what we want to be when we grow up. He's 83. You would not even, he still works. He's like on his A game. You would not believe it.
Yeah, I'm going to be 80 in May.
No way.
Yes.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm sure. I mean, I can't, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of hard to believe.
Dude, that is amazing. Gosh.
Well, thank you.
I mentioned this right before the show. Betty White has been one of my greatest mentors. Of course, I've never met her, but meaning what she models and the joy, alkaline energy, just rock star.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay. I mean, you're one of the most passionate people that I've met as well. So tell us, what are you most passionate about right now, currently?
Hmm. You know, there's one word that I constantly talk about, and that's vitality.
Okay.
Now, I know I don't even want to be here if I don't have vitality. In fact, we were talking about this right prior to going into the interview, but people don't always think that their bodies are going to go south on them. It's just like the subconscious conversation that is not being held with their conscious mind, meaning our body just can't sustain a long life. We're given this gift when we come into the planet. And, for me, it was really the opposite. I ended up getting sick and I was super healthy. I got sick from supplements and radical meal plans and doing a couple of shows. And I remember thinking for that 18 months I was healing myself, my vitality went south. And that's what I was known for, good energy, always happy, tons of energy, always just like in this great state of mind. And when you compromise your health, your relationships are tough, even your faith starts to change, holding down a job. We just have to really honor the gift that we've been given when we came into this planet, and that's our body.
Absolutely. So well said. Well, since we're on the subject, let's try to break it down just a little bit. Why do you think that is? I've always pondered this ever since I've been into this field
Mhm.
for over 40 years. It's I mean, everybody knows, oh yeah, your health's important. We want to be healthy. We want to be energetic and all this sort of thing. But yet they don't make it a priority. So I'm just wondering, why is it so difficult to get people to understand that our health is truly our wealth, and that you have to make your health a priority. I think one thing I've come up with, is as young children, we're not taught the most important thing, just like you were saying, in our life is to be healthy, to learn how to take care of our body. It's how to build great relationships, how to have good self-esteem. Those are really the life skills that we really need, and we're not taught that as young children.
It's interesting. I'm getting a download that I've never talked about on a podcast interview, and that is Jeff Olson's book called The Slight Edge. He started writing. His mom became a multimillionaire, and his dad died when he was younger, and she never made over $100,000 a year, but she consistently saved. And so the book was originally about millionaires. And then that changed to whatever habits we have become a compound effect. They build momentum. And after a while, they become truth, right? We manifest that.
Yeah, we are our habits, no question.
We are our habits. And I think that there's two things going on right now. First of all, people have so much content, they're overwhelmed. We are our phones, our network, we're constantly distracted. And then the secondary part is that they're going to get to it tomorrow. I remember asking a general manager at 24-Hour Fitness, I said, how many members do you have? And he said, 12,000. I said, no way. I'm in here all the time, like different times. And I said, how many active do you have? He goes, what do you define as active? Someone that comes to the gym once a month. And he said,
Once a month.
maybe 2,000. I said, what's going on with the other 10? Are they just paying a monthly membership? He said, yes, they think they'll come tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
They think they'll come tomorrow. So a big part of our process is how to shift poor habits to ideal habits and notice your triggers. And this is when you have to elevate your awareness. And there's this gift that we've been given called the frontal lobe. Human beings have 40% of their brain is the frontal lobe. The primary brain is what animals have. And the only thing remotely close to any animal that has the frontal lobe is 16% chimpanzee. And I think it's interesting that often a female mother chimpanzee will hang herself if her baby's taken away. So it tells us, in my world, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but the frontal lobe symbolizes our free will that we've been given on this planet. this opportunity to dive into a deeper level of awareness. Well, when you start researching, scientists that talk about the frontal lobe, they say it's got the capacity of like 2 trillion megabytes, but most human beings are maybe using at most 2,000. So the problem isn't that people don't want change. We want, we have desires. We get desires from contrast. What's that mean? Wanted and unwanted conditions. We're going through life. People look at unwanted conditions or contrast as a bad thing. It's not at all. It's like, oh, interesting. I don't want that. Or I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of. What's that mean? 12-step, right? 12-step. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But until we get to a point where we start to become aware of our habits, and what is a habit? It's when the body becomes the mind, like Joe Dispenza talks about. And so in all of that, we have to slow down and have a customized plan and enjoy the journey and stay in process. But we have to train our brain how to think. And I always say it like this: all environments create opportunities for transformation. If you're in a marriage or you're a partnership and it's going south, you don't wish it to get better. You're going to call a counselor. You're going to go to your church and you're going to get involved in a couples class. You're going to take an online program or something like that. And you're going to create an environment to start to dig in to see what you can do to change. But here's the most important piece. Most often, people can ignite desire. But my favorite question to somebody is, what don't you want to deal with? 5, 10, 15 years. What if you have the worst diagnosis in your mind? What would that be? And then they tell me. Sometimes they sit. I don't say a word. Sometimes they're silent. They're like, are you still here, Steve? Yeah, I'm waiting. Take your time. What don't you want to deal with?
Yeah.
And say, what choices are going to support you in ensuring that that doesn't happen to you?
Yeah. So why do you think that it's procrastination? So like you said, I agree with you that most people really want, and they know.
I don't
that
know if it's
important.
procrastination. I think it's because people don't necessarily have a program. Like in listening to you earlier, I know that if somebody dove into your coaching program and they just made the decision for 60 days, I'm going to watch and I'm going to take action. After a while, they'll start noticing what they want to do.
Yeah.
What people really need is an ideal wellness plan. And it really breaks down to mindset,
right,
the body, and well-being. And well-being means doing things that you love, that make you happy, getting out in nature, homeostasis, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just establishing those habits that will give you those kind of feelings. We're feeling beings, right? It's all about how we feel. So exactly right. Like I say, my programs are 90 days, and so as you know, Steve, with your programs, if a person sticks with it for that long, they are going to have feel and look and feel so much better that's what's going to get them inspired and motivated to stick with it for the rest of their life. But
I was just traveling. I just traveling last week, and I was in 2 locations, and I always notice when I go to the airport, how many people over 40 walk like they're 75.
Yeah,
like I have a 75-year-old. Like you can tell they waddle. They have so much inflammation. They don't have mobility, and they have forgotten what it feels like to feel good. I always say this, that if I were hanging out with somebody at a gate and they're asking me what I do, and I tell them I'm an owner of Body Temple Health and Wellness, and then we have a conversation, and they say, "Can you give me some feedback or some advice before I get on my plane?" And I just say, hey, it's actually pretty simple. Sweat every day. You sweat 2 ways: internally or externally. Internally means you make it happen. You get on a cardio machine, you go for a run. Externally means you get into a sauna. Sweat every day, get rid of the toxins. It's going to change your face. It's going to change your inflammation. Second, go green. It's pretty simple. I have a pretty simple lifestyle. I don't have to look at ingredients, even though we've got an incredible ebook called Toxic Chemicals to Avoid that are on ingredients. But I just mainly in produce. 90%. You look at apes, man, they're strong. The produce can actually just completely change your life. and then diminish the sugar or eliminate it. There's 68 bar-coded ingredients disguised as sugar, and five of them are sweeteners that are worse than a straight shot of 151 alcohol.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no question. I like to always tell people, you always hear about learning how to read packages and ingredients, and that's good. That's fine. And there are some fairly healthy foods that come in a package, and I eat a few of them sometimes as well. But if you eat my very first book was called Real Food, Real Fast. And it's how to make healthy fast food. And real food is just what's grown in nature, organic fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and maybe some healthy whole grains so real food doesn't come with a package or a label. You don't have to read the label. It's already made the way the creator made it to be. So yeah, when it comes down to it, it's not that difficult to get healthy, and all the things that we really need, that our body really needs. It's not really difficult at all. It's just because we live in such a system that overwhelmed with so much information. But really, if you boil it down, it's not that difficult at all. It's really a simple process, like you said.
It is. Yeah, especially after I think we have to go through that process.
Well, before we get into a little bit more about, I really want to hear about your body mind temple and some more things that you're doing. But just tell us a little bit. I think this is interesting for people, how you actually really healed yourself from your autoimmune situation.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say that, I remember being 27 years old at an entrepreneur convention, and I was there with about 4,000 people. And I remember the keynote speaker ending saying, "What in your life are you sick and tired of being sick and tired of?" And I wrote, "I hate my body." And had never been really an athletic guy, always lean. I didn't really understand, well-being, drink a lot of coffee. I was a smoker back then. And I remember making a decision. I came home and I just said, I am going to completely transform my body. Well, back then there wasn't a lot of, normal gyms, or we'll just say like chains, right? Like a 24 Hour Fitness or LA Fitness. And so my wife led me to a gym that was like a neighborhood gym, and it was all bodybuilders. So I just kind of ended up, wasn't what I was necessarily looking for, but I ended up going down that journey. And I want to say this as I go into this message, that you want to be careful about where you get your information, because it became my lifestyle. Everything that I was learning in the body building, these bodybuilders I was around. I learned great fitness. That was excellent. Maybe lifted a little bit too much weight. But these radical meal plans that I was on, that like white rice, which is sugar, and major beef and chicken and food combination, it doesn't sustain itself. Well, so I was, on that journey for, many, many years. And then when I got into my 40s, my friends kept saying, "You need to do a fitness show, dude. You're getting older. You need to do a fitness show." I really had no interest, but at one point I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And instead of being about the show, I'm going to be in the best possible mindset, emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health in my ideal life, in my life. And so I just ended up hiring a naturopath who happened to be connected with the bodybuilding, field. And I ended up getting on all these supplements, and I just never opted into steroids. That wasn't my thing. I wanted everything to be what I thought was natural. So here I'm taking about $800 a month in supplements, and then I'm also on these radical meal plans. Like keto means a lot of things, but there's a lot of radical meal plans that you can't sustain on these plans through a period of time. They're just not good for you. And so I just stayed on it, ended up, winning both my shows, and that was all cool. But 2 years later, I'm still taking these supplements. And I remember the day my gut quit. I was out with my son, and all of a sudden I got extremely bloated. I knew there was something the matter with me. I thought I needed to go into urgent care. called my doctor the next day, was in within 24 hours, got tests, everything came back normal. And I knew something was wrong, extremely wrong. Well, now fast forwarding, I know that a lot of doctors don't understand what we call functional medicine. They just don't get it. They're not where you go to find out when you, especially autoimmune, they just don't get it. Autoimmune can actually reverse itself. It's one of those, I call it a condition. Many people call it a disease, anywhere from celiacs to on the top of the scale, MS. It can absolutely restore itself. The microbiome, it's the middle of the body. It's pretty crazy. It's amazing. So my son's mom had been on this journey of healing herself from 3rd stage cancer. No chemo, no radiation.
Good for her.
She not only did it once, she did it twice. She's my partner with Body Temple. But I was so stuck in my mind that she was going to pass away. I kept thinking, why doesn't she just get a mastectomy? I was pretty stuck on that. So I wasn't really paying attention. So she started guiding me down that path. And she had been at the Hippocrates Health Institute in Southern Florida. So that's how I started to learn this journey. 18 months of misery. Many of you that have never done colonics, it is an incredible way to reboot your body. Like I had never experienced bloating or had any kind of elimination issues. But I had to go every 4 days just to get my mind clear. That's how much control your gut has on your body. In fact, since we're here, it's our free complimentary gift for all of you.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. Yeah, you want.
We're all good. Yeah. But hey, we're just having a conversation here, but
yeah,
we put together quite an amazing program called our 15-day Kickstart Detox plan. And it's about detoxing and gut health. And although it has a catchy name, it's really about consistently evolving yourself in that particular area of your health. So in this program, you're going to learn everything about detoxing, gut health. You're also going to learn how to shift your poor habits to ideal habits and identify your triggers. And most importantly, you're going to learn how to create a customized ideal wellness plan.
Wow, that sounds really. And this is going to be this is a free gift that you're giving?
Yes, it's going to be in the show notes.
Wow.
It's called. It's really simple. If you just go to URL.
No, wait. Don't tell them yet. Let's make them.
Gotcha.
Let's make them stay tuned to the. So
you got it, my friend.
You got to stay tuned to the last. We're only going to go about 15 more minutes, and then we'll tell you how you can get that amazing free gift from Stephen. So thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And before we get back again, I just want to mention what you were saying about you took all these tons of supplements. So I think it's an important point to bring out is that no matter what may seem that could be a health food or it could be a good supplement, you can overdo anything, right? Anything in excess is not good for you. Anything in excess, and that we're all individually. So you really have to not just arbitrarily take a bunch of supplements or take what people say is health food, because it may be totally not good for you at all. So you always got to get some help to determine, what foods and supplements are just right for your particular.
Can we stay there for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember being just so surprised at how sick I got. And then when I went to this naturopath, this healer, basically, I ended up with 3 naturopaths in my 18 months that I was working at healing, because I was almost done about month 14, but I wasn't quite right. It was this 3rd naturopath that I hired in Dallas, Texas. I call him the Mad Frankenstein. Man, he was so wise. Like this, he just had this gift, intuitive and logical gift. But with that, I had no idea 92% of all supplements have chemicals in them.
Yeah.
Now, if you're on a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, not good. If you are young and 25 and healthy,
definitely not good.
you get away with it for a while.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know that 92% were of these supplements, 92% of these toxic supplements were actually pharmaceutical companies disguised as supplement companies.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah.
I searched for a chemical-free supplement, like 100%, and I couldn't find one. And I found a formulator that ended up leading me to some products and a formulation. I remember getting bags of product. Like I wanted a gut detox. I wanted a digestive enzyme and a pre-probiotic. And that's when I had the dream to create a supplement line. In fact, I've had three, they're called, I didn't even know there's a thing like this. They're called supplement hackers. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
found me online and they wanted to interview me on their podcast.
Mm.
And they said, you have 100% chemical free line. You're like in the top 1%. So I wanted to, that's how I got interested to create my own chemical free supplement line. In fact, I went from being bloated, having a challenging time digesting my food, non-consistent elimination, to I remember just starting to take these products that came in a baggie like that. I didn't want one chemical in them. And this formulator said, I really don't have a chemical free product because the many that are 96%, but there are these companies that don't do 100% chemical free. And I'm like, nope, I want 100% chemical free. How can you help me? So that's how the dream started. In fact, when you jump into this Kickstart Detox program, you'll see that we have the products below the video and get special on them and educate you on how to diminish toxins in your body by really being particular about supplements. Many of you are spending money on supplements
Right.
that just are like alcohol. You might as well not be taking them at all.
Yeah, that's such good information. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I definitely want to check. Yeah, I'm not familiar with your line of products either, so I'm definitely going to check them out. You know, I
It's
mostly
not free.
I
It's
mostly
not
take
water.
whole food supplements. You know, mostly all the supplements I take are whole foods. And then there's a company called, have you heard of Premier Research Labs in Texas?
I have not.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I think they're at least for sure they have it assayed by outside companies that guarantee that it's 100% what they say is on the label is actually in there. I know you know this, but there's been some studies where they actually have taken all different kinds of supplements off shelves to all different kind of stores, and more than half of them don't even not only excuse me do they have all kind of chemicals in them. They don't even have the actual what they say on the label is not even in there. So
I'm
you really
telling
got
you, see, I wanted to
you got to be
know.
careful for sure.
I hear you. I mean, I wanted to know where they were grown, the soil they were in, all the way to the final capsule. And like our capsules aren't even full. These companies add fillers. They're just not necessary.
Right.
It's not about how full the capsule is, it's what's in it. I wanted to know exactly where it came from. Like vegetation in a desert is actually better than vegetation in what we might think are one of the most prime areas in the world to grow vegetation. Why?
Rain,
Roundup.
rain.
Roundup.
Oh,
Roundup.
oh yeah.
There's so much that people don't understand. I mean, like, and that's where I was at. Like, I wanted to know what the effing source was from the beginning to the end. I was like so sick that I thought I'm never gonna. I mainly eat food, and I'm on like vitamin C liposomal and some magnesium and glutathione, but it's pretty simple. Every month I get a IV with major nutrients in it. But other than that, it's just gut health and probiotic, pumping up the immune system. I don't judge anybody that got the vaccination. I think it's so personal. And of course, with some people they had to, but I never got it. Was around 10 people with COVID. I never got it. And here I had an autoimmune. And I just think it's so important to pump up your immune system. That's what we're about, detoxing
That's what,
and vitality. And
well, let's talk a couple of minutes about how to improve your immune system too. I think it's different than a lot of people think. But the other point I want to bring out, I think what we're really getting out of what you're saying is the true way to heal yourself, no matter what symptoms you may have or whatever's going on, is to get back start from square one again and eliminate all the junk and things you're taking that you don't even know what's in there, and just give your body the natural things that it really needs in that kind of a form, and then your body can heal itself. Our bodies are capable of healing itself from anything.
Mhm.
Absolutely, they are. So I really like what you're saying, and you found that really the key to healing yourself is just eliminate all these stuff that, again, I think it's so important to understand that you can be taking a lot of things that may, some people are may say that this is can be really good for you, but maybe not. So you got to start from scratch and go totally natural, and your body can heal itself. That's so cool that you did that, man.
I'm going to tell you that I know I might. Here's my trump card and everything.
Good. All right.
My life changed when I started meditating.
Yeah.
Many of you that are listening or watching, you live in a one-dimensional world. And I'm going to tell you, you have a soul that's 2 steps ahead of you. You can call it Jesus, you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it your higher guidance, you can call it your inner guidance system. It is 2 steps ahead of you and has your interest in this human experience. It wants you to thrive. And so often we don't hear that still small voice. I can tell you that all my miracles that have happened in my life, many, many years of miracles, have all came from me tapping in and tuning in my morning ritual. In fact, we haven't talked about this, but we have a community online called the Body Temple Community. And when you go jump into Facebook, Body Temple Community, Body Temple Community. And in the file section, there's so many resources, these coaches answering questions. It's our philanthropic movement. But when you jump into the file section, you will see Steve's miracle morning ritual. And I can ask a question to the universe, and within usually minutes, it's answered. Even when I'm not in a good place, I can tap back into gratitude. And going back to what I said earlier about the marriage, we need an environment, which is our hub for life. If you're sick and you're not doing well, just start jumping onto YouTube, looking for a guided meditation, and slow your mind down in the morning. Now that's elementary work, but when it starts to grow, what happens is you're looking at the 4 primary areas of your life: relationships, physical, spiritual, and financial, career, professional. And so what we do is we train people how to write affirmations based on what they want. And we've got a whole program around that. And that's where they train their brain how to think. So here's an example. One of my simple affirmations is for everybody: when I go south on my ideal wellness plan, I bless, release, recommit, and get back on track. You train your brain not to judge yourself. You train your brain to be human. You train your brain to stay in the process. And so that's where you start to see things change. Nobody gets my morning but me and my creator. Never, ever. I woke up today, did a supercharger bath, means I got in the bathtub with magnesium, essential oil, a little bit of baking soda, and listened to guided meditation by one of my favorites, Gabriel Bernstein, best-selling author, and just then got out, stretched, started reading my affirmations, got into that state. And that's where I just talked to my creator. It's just really not that difficult, but people always need to know how. But that's where you'll start noticing that it's not by chance that you're listening to this podcast. Somewhere you ended up getting tapped in. This felt right. And that's when you start noticing that you said it earlier, good feeling thoughts, good feeling thoughts. It's a mindset and it's a feeling.
Yeah, that's so well said. So what I'm getting out of all this too, and I want to add to what you said, is that we are so much more powerful than we can imagine. We're whatever religious or spiritual belief you may have, but I think it's pretty. I think most people, the vast majority of people, believe in some form of hereafter, and that there's some kind of a creator. So however you would think of the creative force, the creative force created us in this physical form, but and
Beautiful.
so the term is God inside. So we're part of that creative force. We're part of that. So we have God inside ourselves, as you said. So we just have to tap into our higher self, and then all things are possible. We can heal. We can know what we can do. We can find our divine purpose on this planet. We can do amazing things if you just tap into that.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm sure you've heard this, but talk about meditation. It's one of my favorite sayings of all time. It goes like this: you can travel the world seeking the meaning of life, and return home and just be still and know yourself for the first time.
Mm,
Isn't that so cool?
beautiful.
Yeah, just be still. So that's so good. That's so good.
Beautiful.
Stephen, I know both you and I, we have so much, we have so much things that we want to share, and so we can probably we could go on for hours and hours and hours. But so let's kind of sum it up. Let's say what would be good. I think let's say maybe about three biggest tips that you think that's really going to help people really take priority for their health and can heal themselves and make a huge difference in their life. What would those three tips be?
You know, if I may, I'm going to trump that and just,
Okay. Sure.
I have been an entrepreneur, coach, success trainer, author for 20 years, and transitioned when my wife and I decided, we really want to heal people, help them take charge of health, body, and mindset. And the reason I became successful is that I created systems, and they were systems that had to do with philosophy, but also business systems, mindset, but business systems. And that's why they became successful, because I didn't teach anybody anything. I led them to a resource. I knew what they wanted. I knew what they needed to learn to get what they want. And I would lead them to a curriculum that was all recorded, transcribed, assignments. They do the assignments, come back to me or any of our 40 coaches, and we would coach them on the material so that their blueprint, their roadmap accurately led them to the navigation that they wanted to.
Wow.
And so that's what this Kickstart Detox program is all about. It cost us $8,000 to put this whole program together. We put together a whole detox manual, gut detox manual. It took us 8 months to write, and primarily because we had to think about the different kinds of people that would be jumping into this, that would be interviewed on a podcast. And they may be just wanting to tip their water or tip their toes in the water. And then some that knew they were sick or getting sick and they needed to go narrow. And then the achiever that wanted to go to the next level. And if you think I'm halfway decent, you are going to be blown away when you hear it. And here is someone that is so alkaline and so on her A game. The words that come out of her mouth, the emotions that come out of her mouth, she's just dead on. So what you're going to learn is, first of all, making a decision you're ready for change. And how do you get to that place? Second, how to create your ideal wellness plan. And third, how to shift your poor habits to ideal habits. So it's easy to remember, bodytemplekickstart.com. So that's the name of the company, Body Temple, and we're going to kickstart your health, bodytemplekickstart.com.
Wow,
And
so good.
after you register, you'll have an opportunity to add your cell number. And that's important because I can tell you that it's just such a joke with our company, how many people reach out and say, I didn't get it. And it's the email. Email's just not reliable. So we'll text you that link as well. And then you'll also hear from a Body Temple coach. They'll reach out and welcome you to the Body Temple community, and they'll just make themselves available to answer any questions you have. And those of you that are on Facebook, jump into Facebook, search Body Temple community, ask for approval, you're in. You can post anything, so many really great resources. We'd love to help you take charge of your health, body, mindset.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Stephen. That's so good. I really appreciate what you're doing, and just great information and great stuff. So you definitely want to go there. And we're also on the description of the show too. We'll put all those links so you can
Awesome.
you can get a hold of Steve. So
thank you for having me, brother.
That was so good. That was so great. So I always end all my shows by saying, knowledge without action is useless. So you've got to take
Yes.
action. You got to take action on what you learn here, and you can do it. You can make a huge difference in your life. You know, Steve has done it. You know, all of our people that we've worked with, 1,000 people have changed their life and made it just amazingly. You can do amazing things in your life, but you got to step up and take responsibility for it, and you can do it. So, Steve, again, thank you so much. That was fantastic.
Such an honor, brother. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
thank you. So, and thank you all for being here, and just go out and make it happen. You can do it.